Hey there, Friday Night Movie fans. We have an amazing episode for you this week. Courtney and Rhea Tucker of the band Sheila were with us, and stay tuned at the end of the show because they gave us permission to play one of their incredible tracks, With All Disrespect, from their latest album, Protect Your Art. Check it out on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, anywhere you can find music because they rock. Enjoy the show. Here we are, and welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. Today, we have incredible guests with us. We have the Tucker sisters, Rhea and Courtney, of Sheila, an amazing band. But before we introduce our guests and ask them a million questions, I always need to check in on my siblings. I miss you very much, Lily and Becky. Lily, how are you doing in the Canary Islands with our parents and your child and your dog all in your
and my husband
and your husband? I feel like I feel like maybe he ran away at this point, so I didn't want to
so his brother came, like social distancing and all, came to see us before he because the islands opened up so you can travel between them now before he goes on to like a different island. He's
his
gonna go
brother
work on
Tio
a farm. Tio Chiki. He's gonna go work on a farm. And Jose was just sitting there and being like, I really envy you. And I was like, what do you? And I was like thinking, like, you want to work on a farm? He's like, no. He's by himself all the time. And I was like, I think you're supposed to think that inside your head. You're about to have, expand your family and live with me and like your wonderful in-laws. I think inside voice in your head. He's just like alone. But I've had an interesting 24 hours with mom. I know that like there's so many Zoom jokes and like older people on Zoom and technology and blah, blah, blah. And it's like really overdone, but there's a reason that it's overdone because I respect the fact that there's a time change between here and the United States of America where my parents live, but now they live here. And so they have to live on this time zone, but they have meetings and calls and things on the other time zone. So sometimes things run late. And few nights ago, mom has like a 30-person Zoom call for like a volunteer organization. And I'm like, at this point, I've worked all day, I have a kid, like I'm exhausted. I'm sweating like an enormous amount. It's really hot. And I sit on the couch and I just put on Queer Eye and I just want to be by myself. And somehow she like brings her meeting into the kitchen, into the living room. She's all over. She's like walking back and forth.
Well, mom is a little bit like a gas sometimes. She expands.
Yes. And she's like, it's just the Wi-Fi. I can't use the Wi-Fi over there. I need to use it over here. I'm like, fine, whatever. Like trying to ignore her. And she just out of nowhere goes, hey, Lil. And she asks me if I'd like to speak to an ex-boyfriend
a former lover.
That is on this Zoom call by coincidence that who's part of the same volunteer organization. And that's wonderful.
And who is a good person.
It was a wonderful person.
Like, this is a person we like.
This is not the point. The point is that like, it's midnight. I'm tired. I'm on the couch. I'm trying to get through an episode of Queer Eye. And I hear her behind my head go, do you want to come say hi to so-and-so? And my obvious reaction is, no, why the fuck would I want to say hello to that person right now? Like full on like rage monster. I'm so tired. And she's like, oh gosh, sorry. I just thought you might want to get up and come and say hello. And I was like, no, can you leave me alone? Then I'm like, obviously you're on mute, right? She's like, I was not on mute and that was very rude and everybody heard you. She's like, now I'm on mute. But I wasn't then. And I was like, Jesus. I was like, Mom. I was like, get it together. I was like, you're an asshole. I was like, you don't do something like that. She's like, I think we know who the asshole here is. And then I'm like, that is not okay. And now all those people think you're a bad mom because you raised me. You raised them out like this, and that's on you. So this reflects badly on you. She's like, yes, it does. And I was like, please go into another room.
Well, I think mom has
Bad.
learned her lesson about doing her Zoom meetings. All right, Becky, you are in California. We talked only about 12 hours ago, right before bed, to check in. How are you doing, though, since then?
I mean, the truth is, I'm very show emotional these days, which we can get into at the end of the episode when we do our recs and shout outs. Um, that means I'm very emotional about a show that has ended for me that I
Dude, I
finished
get it. I
watching.
get it.
And so Shy and I have basically daily check-ins to discuss this show and why I'm so emotional. So I'm mostly dealing with those feelings. Um, but I'm doing well because I started a new show, which is helping to ease the pain. So, I'm okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like your hair is getting under control. The bangs
Oh,
are finally growing
oh
into
yeah, my bangs have
regular
grown
hair.
out. I think my mullet has grown out, and when it's really greasy and unwashed for a week or so, plus it kind of does this nice, fake salon sort
Yeah,
of
you look like a
thing.
90s era wrestler, to be
Like
honest.
like that Farrah hair.
I mean, honestly, in the last year of what I've been through with my hair, this 90s era wrestler is not the worst thing that's been said to me.
Pretty good
Self-inflicted.
compliment.
Okay, well, uh, wonderful to be here with my sisters. We have two amazing sisters. These siblings are iconic siblings as far as I'm concerned
Stop.
in the DC music scene. Um, Rhea and Courtney Tucker are in the band Sheila. They are the drummer and guitar player. And I first saw them perform at Harrafest, which our dear friends Kathy DeToro from Sugar Highway and Rose Riot, and all of the other bands that I'm always talking about that she's in, and Rachel Levitin got us involved with. And I remember meeting them for real, like I only saw them on stage, and I remember meeting them for real on the margins of a show at Songbird, where Rachel introduced me to Rhea and Courtney, and I was like, I hope I played it cool, but I was like, I'm talking to the Tucker sisters now, and they're talking to me. And I want to say you almost knew. I felt like maybe you even knew who I was, and I was like, what? And and then when we were doing Sugar Highway with Kathy and Chris and Helen, Courtney and Rhea were always in the chat. We brought them in as phone guests.
Love the
We
comment.
brought them in as guests multiple times. They without having been even prepared as guests, they were an amazing part of the constellation of that show. And so I have always wanted to do more with you all. And then earlier this week, as a super fan of your band, I won a giveaway. I'm wearing my awesome Protect Your Art Sheila t-shirt.
Looks beautiful. Love
And
it.
so I felt like I'd earned my super fan status, and it would be a good time to invite you all to join the show. So welcome, Rhea and Courtney.
Thanks, Shy.
Thanks,
y'all,
Becky. Thanks, Lily.
y'all hype us up so much. We're not cool. Oh my goodness. Like, I feel like, I don't know, because it always happens. Like when we meet people at shows, there's like, oh my gosh, we're so happy to meet. Why?
Oh man.
Cool. Like, we just, like,
there is a rock star thing, but I'm glad at least I'm not the only one who gets like that. It does happen often. You do have folks come up to you and they're like,
yeah, it's just like after we did a show, just like, oh my gosh, that was just amazing, blah blah blah. Like, you guys are just so awesome. I'm like, we're not.
No,
Thank you.
this one time I was at, where was I? I went out with one of my friends from work. I forgot where we were going to, but we went to this, I literally don't remember, somewhere in like Arlington or something. And this person comes up to me and was like, hey, I'd never met this person. I was like, oh, hey, how are you? Oh my God, are you in the band Sheila? I was like, oh my God, stop. I said, how did you know? I said, where'd you see me? How do you know me? How do you know me? She was like, I saw you guys do this show called Women Fuck Shit Up, and your band was great. It was so great. And I like, that stuck with me for about 4 days. And I was like,
Aw,
oh,
that's
I was
good.
recognized. And my friend was like, hey, like, calm down. I was like, no, I was recognized. Stop. By someone I didn't know.
That's awesome.
look, that's an awesome feeling. I mean, to have people love you and love your music, and I mean, as a failed rock star myself, believe me, I am envious of this. So we're going to interview you guys now, ask you a whole bunch of questions so we can get to know you and also so all of the listeners can get to know you. So first of all, just who are the Tuckers? Like, where did this musical, I mean, your siblings obviously, but like, have you always been from the area, from the DC area? Where
What's
did
your origin story?
Yeah, if you
I
are
wanna know.
superheroes, what is your superhero origin story, particularly as musical partners? Because I can't get my kids to be nice to each other sharing
I'm
the
pretty
same
sure their
room.
origin story is the womb. Otherwise,
So the origin story is the womb. We'll fast forward about 17 years. So we're not from this area. We're from like Virginia Beach area. Like we're from.
oh, nice. That's a nice.
Yeah,
area.
757 for people who are from 757. We rep that hard. Even though we don't claim it, we're just like whenever someone says 757, you have to be like, yeah. We don't actually care. And then we don't actually care. So then we went to like George Mason and we graduated in like 2015 and we've stayed here ever since because I know people who like grew up here like hate this area. I actually love this area. I think it's very cute. So we stayed here and we started playing. Oh my gosh! So we're like self-taught. So we did like music has been a part of our lives. We were like 10. But then when I was in, what was it? 10th grade. Oh, with the guitar and the candy. When I was in 11th grade, I really wanted to learn to play guitar like so bad. Like always wanted to. So we had like this side hustle in high school, and we would sell candy
Like out of briefcases, out of our lockers, like we sold candy. Like it was, they didn't even know our names. They called us Candy Lady. Like
What kind of candy?
we went, you know when you go like Sam's Club and all that,
Yeah.
you get the bulk
just
stuff.
buy candy and
We
bulk.
like chocolate, Snickers, like Starburst.
Was this stuff wrapped?
Yeah, it was wrapped. Oh yeah, it was wrapped.
I'm just curious about the hygiene, but yes, okay.
Lily thought maybe you were just selling single unwrapped M&Ms. What did you think?
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Just one Skittle.
Yeah.
One Skittle, exactly. Get them hooked, and then
I started it.
get more Skittles. Oh, Skittles are so good. But no Skittle. But you do a package of Skittles, obviously.
So
This is amazing.
I was like very like hell bent. I was like, oh fuck, I want to learn to play the guitar so bad because like why not? And I was super obsessed with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. John Frusciante's my guitar idol. I was like, I'm going to learn to play guitar. So Ria was like, ew, you're not going to do that. So a month later, I made enough money. I bought me like the Epiphone version.
So that's very entrepreneurial of you. It's amazing.
I bought me a gift, not a Gibson, an Epiphone SG. I bought me a little practice
Gee.
Marshall amp, and Ria was so jealous. She said, "What?"
I said, I want to learn guitar too.
And that's from Candy.
That's from selling candy.
It's amazing.
I mean, we got in trouble many times, but whatever.
I was gonna say.
We called the principal's office, like, you can't sell this on school grounds. And I was like,
That's why you go into the bathroom where nobody can see you. It's fine.
It's great because it's not illegal and it's just candy. But like, who doesn't like candy? It's amazing.
also
Right, and I feel like in school that's like contraband for kids.
All right, like
Ooh,
candy.
these kids that can't get candy at home from their parents, they're like,
we were their gateway.
yeah,
But
exactly. It's great.
I also bought tires for my car so that we saved.
Okay, I think how much candy are these kids eating? It's a bit worrisome.
No, like I think at one point I made like $300 a week selling candy.
Wait, wow.
Literally selling candy. I had it in a briefcase, in my lunchbox, in my locker. I would like excuse myself. I'd be like, can I go to the bathroom? And I go to the bathroom at the same time every day and just stand there. And these boys would go, Candy Lady. Yeah.
This is
not
an
a game.
amazing story.
It was not a game. Sorry, we didn't mean to spend that much. So anyway, moving on from candy.
Amazing.
So I bought a guitar, learned to play that, and then Ria got jealous, so she saved up. She bought her a bass guitar, and I'd been playing for a few months. So I taught Ria to play bass because it's pretty much the same thing. So then fast forward, we go into college, and we're like, damn, we really want to start a band. So we had another band before Sheila. That's a long story. So we had a band with one of our friends, and it didn't. Let's just the nicer version. It didn't work out.
Right.
So we were like, and then we were like in this weird place because like we didn't like have like the personnel. Like Ria played bass at the time, and then I played guitar. Then we didn't have a drummer, so we had to ask our friend to play drums with us. He lived in Richmond. It was a whole thing. So I literally just like quit playing bass at one point. She watched YouTube
And just
videos.
taught yourself the
Just
drums.
YouTube. So like I've been playing drum for 20 years and I'm not that good. And you just were like, I think I'll stop bass at 17,
Oh, yeah.
at 18. And you just like, I'll learn from YouTube.
Oh yeah, because I was
That's
just like,
incredible.
we had to like when we got Shire on board, we had to like cancel gigs because we just didn't have a drummer. And I was just like, I'm like, we're literally destroying opportunities because we
Right.
don't
Like,
have a
this is
drummer.
BS.
And so I said, you know what? I literally said, fuck it. I just threw the bass on the ground. I said, I'm buying a drum. So I went to a pawn shop and bought like an
Wow.
drum set. It was like $100. It was so terrible.
Wow, but still.
That's awesome.
And then for our singer, all of us went to George Mason. When did Shire graduate? The year before us. I think Shire
14?
graduated
14 or 13.
I think she graduated the year or two before us. So then when it's time to look for a new singer, we're like, damn, remember Shire? Because we were like in the pep band. Remember, she was really good. Let's ask her. And I was like, there's no way. She didn't even, like, we honestly didn't even talk to her that much in college. There's no way she's going to be in it. So we messaged her, hey, do you want to be in a band with us? And she was like, yeah. That's awesome. Only thing is, I live in North Carolina and we live here. We're like, how the fuck is that going to work out? So we literally would Skype. We would Skype sessions. We would never practice together, only on Skype. And we would practice like the hour before we had a performance.
Oh, that's my kind of practice. I love it.
That's great.
And then when
Now,
we made
I want to say something. Shire, I had the chance of meeting in backstage at one of Kathy's shows,
Mhm.
and she was so kind to my older daughter, and it meant so much to me. She was so sweet to her. Kathy introduced us, and she chatted with her, and it was like a real rock star moment. So, please send her my thanks.
she's always like that. Like she's the nicest one of all of us.
Yeah, she's like the voice of reason of the group. So Courtney's very sensitive, and I'm very like
Mean.
not
mean.
not
Yes,
like
she is.
just not. And Shire's is like that voice of like wisdom and reason.
Very
Cool.
cool. All right. Okay. So, all right. So you formed Sheila. Now, Sheila is a rock band, and I know from your tastes, from us being in the chat rooms and stuff, I know you love Blink. I know you love the Cranberries. There's echoes of that, but it is totally your own sound. We'll get into the album and the songs in a moment, but like, where does your musical like lifeblood come from? Both the artists that you sound like and the artists that you don't sound like, but still influence you, because all of us have those, right? All of us have like no matter what. Whatever I play on drums sounds like I'm in a Canadian folk band, but I'm like a huge Rush fan, but I cannot play a single note of a Rush song. So, and it
What's that
influenced.
first song? YYZ.
So, what influenced you all? What helped? What's the recipe for the Tucker
Our
family
biggest
music?
thing is that we love, and then we take like elements from like what we like and what Shire likes. So we are like huge pop punk fans, specifically 2005 emo, like Fall Out Boy, Paramore, Blink-182, All American Rejects. Like that is like the creme de la creme of like what we love. Like anytime we listen to something like we just listen to random shit on like we just find it on YouTube. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds very 2005. Download. And it's really crazy because when we were starting, we had like several people ask us. They were like, "You like Courtney? You really like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but like you sound nothing like them." So the funniest part is like when we were first starting out, I wasn't that good at guitar, so I couldn't emulate like what they were trying to play, and it was like really difficult. I had that struggle for like ever. Like I hear it, I was like, I want to sound like this, but I can't because I actually can't play it. So we were talking about it yesterday. We just play we play what we can play and then go off of that.
And then I think we're like very intentional. We don't like want to sound like anyone else. Like whatever we write, that's just what our song is. So like if we wrote like, oh, like a cute little ballad with strings, that's what we wrote. Like we don't want to sound like a certain genre. We just write like whatever comes to mind.
And we don't write in a style. Like there's like a style to like rock, or there's a style to like neo soul. Like I'll be like, hey, look at this idea that I came up with like 2 days ago, and then we'll just send like a GarageBand file back and forth, and we'll just keep adding to it. And then whatever ends up like, that's what it is.
I identify with this on such a deep personal level because that is really how my musical partner and I have been writing music for like 20 plus years, is that same way. Like it comes from within what we can do, and then it comes. So that and it's all by GarageBand or Logic and things like that. So wow, that's amazing. Okay. All right. Sheila, the name.
I take
awkward.
credit.
This is
It's a
awkward.
beautiful name. You got
Yeah.
amazing design, amazing iconography.
It's a great name.
I love the insignia. I now have the Sheila sticker on my iPad with the
Yes.
Friday Night Movie sticker, with the Rose Riot sticker, with the Take Two podcast guys who are really good friends of mine. So like, it's in a place of honor. But where does the name come from? Where does the design come from? What is all that?
So when we were going through, when we first our very first album, we came up with, okay, we had written all these songs. We're like, okay, we're going to record an EP on this day, have all the stuff. So we went to Blue Room Studios, and the guy who's been in both of our albums, his name is Ben Green, fucking phenomenal. Shout out to Ben Green. Love him. So he was like, oh, what's the band name? We're like, I don't know. He said, oh, can we have it? Like, I think we went on Friday, or we went on Thursday to like set stuff up. We were coming back that Friday. Oh, just make sure you guys have a band name. I just have to like put something in like the file that's your band. I can't just leave it blank. I said, okay, we'll have something tomorrow. So then I was like, damn, I don't know what to put. Like, we kept coming up with all this stuff, and it was all, I don't even remember what they were. They were all bad. So then basically, did we have the logo before we went in?
Yeah, we had the logo before.
So we wanted to get a logo for our band, and I reached out to this guy. His name is Julian. He's like on the Facebook like DMV musicians. He was like, hey, I'm a graphic designer. You guys want something? And I just said, hey, can you draw like a black girl with an afro? I said, I want that to be our logo. He's like, yeah, sure. So then he came after about like a week. He sent it to me. Here's what I got. So that's been our like logo ever since. Awesome. And so then basically I came up with the name Sheila. I just said, wow, she looks like a Sheila. I'm going to name her Sheila. So
gave her this whole backstory.
Yeah, she has a whole backstory. Like eventually
Yes.
we're trying to make like you know how Beyonce has like the concept album and all that stuff?
Yeah.
How Fall Out Boy did Save Rock and Roll. It's like a whole story. So Sheila.
And let's not forget Tom DeLonge, one of my favorites, all of his like multimedia graphic novel film albums. I know you guys are not like as high on the Tom DeLonge solo work as I am.
We'll get to that.
Then we got to talk about the concert too.
Okay. But yeah, so then I said, okay, Sheila is this person. She was born in the 60s, and she has a whole entire backstory. Like she has like a love interest, and we were trying to make an album like based.
She's a Black Panther.
She's a black, like it's wild. Like she has a whole crazy story. I still have it written in my room. But anyway, so I said she looks like a Sheila. So like, what's her name? And we were still like, her name's Sheila. The name it's Sheila. It's Sheila. He's like, okay, cool. Put it in. Been that ever since.
And that's great.
Great name.
An all woman band with the word. Like I assumed it was more intentional. I mean, I guess it is more intentional, but I remember seeing it and being like, Sheila, yeah, that's the name of that band. Like when I saw the. It's a powerful name. It's like
Sure.
It's two amazing syllables. I feel like it really fits you all.
It also means woman. It means
Isn't that it's like Australian
female.
slang,
Right.
Well, that is true. I just watched Crocodile Dundee with my kids. They repeatedly refer to women as Sheilas, and that I'm not sure if that's where we should be going.
No, but I think that's like it is.
Still works.
It's like like it's Latin too, like origin.
But that's so cool.
It's Latin origin. I think it's heavenly, but
I think love that it's the name of the woman represented in your logo. Like,
right.
I don't know. It's very cool.
It makes me think of some of the great logos of all time. Don't like Megadeth and some of those other bands have names for their and Iron Maiden have names for their logos. Like those are guys.
What's Iron Maiden's name? What's his name?
Is he Eddie or
Eddie?
It's Eddie. Is his Eddie? It's one of them has Eddie or something like that. But yeah, like I like they have different like names for their guys. Well, let's talk about the album. I'm wearing the shirt. Protect Your Art. What an awesome name for an album. But I know when you read the description on Bandcamp, there's a description of like what Protect Your Art means. What does it mean to you all?
It's just meaning, because I remember I like went back through our text yesterday, like the exact conversation of how we got the name. This is like a little origin story for the name. So I remember I gave up like 8 different names for the album or whatever, and it was like little lyrics from our songs or whatever. And then I said, Protect Your Art. And I said, do you guys like that? It was really like just came to me. And Shire was like, yo, I really like that.
I didn't like it initially.
But anyways. Shire was like, yeah, because like art can literally mean anything. It can mean like your music, like whatever you like hold dear to you, whatever your craft is. Yeah, your craft is, whatever you cherish. Like you want to protect it at all costs because that's what you live by. Like for us, it's music. We just live by this every day. So
I love it. I think
it's almost like
very
anybody, you can interpret it any way. Like protect whatever makes you like function or makes you live.
That's awesome. That's a brilliant name.
And it
Right.
feels very powerful when you repeat it. And
Yeah.
when you say that out loud, it feels very empowering. Like you're taking control, or that you're standing your ground on something.
Absolutely.
And Becky, of the three of us, is the actual filmmaker. So I feel
Whoa.
like, and
It's a very generous term. I produce films, but yes, I am.
But
yeah.
let's just say, knowing the drama you've gone through in the film industry in your
Yes.
life, I feel like protect your art is a great mantra for you to have for yourself going forward.
It really is, and it's something that, in thinking about some past projects, if I repeat that mantra to myself, I feel it help. I'm just thinking about it now. It's making me feel really good about some choices that I've made, or the ways in which I've stood my ground to protect my art. And so thank you. Thank you, Tucker Sisters.
Aw,
I'm gonna
Let's get into the album. I want I want to get into some of these songs. They're so cool. So when I bought the album on Bandcamp, the first song, for some reason, I don't know, maybe this was pre-programmed, but it kept starting on Far Away, Hibba's song.
yeah.
And so for me, the first few times I listened to the album, it started there. And then after a while, I was walking and I was like, okay, I gotta start this from the beginning because I love albums, and it sounds like you like them too. So to me, the first like epic of the album to me is "We Are." That chorus, those voices, the way it, like, to me, that is like I'm imagining the stadium of people doing almost like a call and response with the chorus of that. What's that song? I mean, it's hard. I am not good, believe it or not. I can't remember the lyrics to my own songs.
Neither can we.
Let alone real songs. What is the what's that song about? What does it mean to you? Does it have? Do you envision it the same way with the crowd of people singing?
Oh, so that song is so interesting. So I remember we literally never heard the lyrics until we went into the studio. It's all the songs. So like to all of them except for like two of them. Yeah. So even though we Skype, you know how like Skype is really bad. So we would like Skype with Shire, but it would always be a lag. So we only heard like I was like, so how does it sound? Yeah, it's great. I like it a lot. So we actually never heard what it sounded like until we get into the studio, and then Ben, our engineer, presses play, and Shire's like, okay, I'm ready. She starts singing it, and then we just look at each other like, literally sounds like a freaking 80s song. I was like,
it's almost got like a Pat Benatar punk feel to it. It's so cool.
That's amazing that you guys think. Luckily, you liked it.
Like whatever Shire does, I know we're gonna like it because Shire is just like literally a genius songwriter, just like genius. So like it was just like, so surprising. I was like, oh my goodness. She's like, it's about us. She wrote like most, like I think the second verse. She's like, what does it say? Like there's like, she's like, black girl magic power, that's nothing. And she talks about like wearing like 90s denim because our aesthetic is 90s. We love, like we stay in the 90s. So she put like little pieces about like us and our personalities into the song. It was so cute. We were just like, oh my god, that's so cute.
Oh, what a great opening to the record. Now I have a new way. You know, Bandcamp, for some reason, that one I think doesn't, you can't, oh no, that one has the lyrics. Okay. Some of them do. And I do love the chorus of we are the biggest stars. To me, that echoes.
That's awesome.
It makes me think of so many bands that have had choruses like that earlier in their careers, you know, like, you know, it's so hopeful, it's so inspiring. I can just imagine there's going to be the next, you know, rock band playing that song, you know, thinking that that's what they're going to be one day when they cover it. Okay, the next song, My Black is Beautiful. What an incredible song. The groove, the lyrics in general. That one I did pay attention to the lyrics. And then there's the spoken word part in the middle of it, or towards the end. I don't know, the last.
It's like on like the bridge section. Oh my goodness! So that was like a quote that I found online by this author. Her name is Stephanie Lahart, and she but she like writes like inspirational things specifically for Black people and Black women. So I remember we went to the studio and I recorded it, and Ben was like, "Oh no, you gotta like get permission." Just to like, he said, just email her, just try to get permission, or we can do something else. So I emailed her, and she was like, email me like 2 hours later. Oh my goodness, she said, "Can you just like send me like a demo of the song? Like, what does this all entail?" I was like, "We just want your permission to use this quote in our song." She was like, "Oh, absolutely, yes."
Oh, that's awesome.
The only thing I asked is that like when you do it live, just
Say
say
my name.
just like say her name, that it's her quote. And it's like, got you.
Because you put her name in
At the very end.
at the very end of
Yeah.
within the song.
Within the song, yeah.
I
which
mean,
is awesome.
the song's lyrics are honest and raw. Like there's no mistaking what the song is about. And when you, as Black artists, although I don't know if do you identify yourselves as Black artists or just artists? I don't want to be presumptuous.
You can say Black, it's fine.
Okay. As Black artists, going right at society standards of beauty with a song like this, speaking very specifically. I mean, it's very deeply personal. I think, or at least I get the impression. How do you feel vulnerable when you are writing a song like that? Are you feeling proud? Are you feeling, what are the emotions that playing a song that is so specific, what does that bring out?
So when we write stuff about that, like, you know, when you're listening to an artist or just a band or whoever, and you're always like, oh, I wonder what they're about. Like when we write songs like that, we want like to like put it on the forefront, like, hey, this is what Sheila is about. We're like a female band. We're all Black. We like talk about that. We've been singing about this stuff since like before all the stuff is happening. So we want people, like, when we intentionally write these songs so people will know we're a band, we're like huge activists, and we write songs that are like important to us. Like I remember this song, I literally had this song shelved in GarageBand for like 3 or 4 years. Like, you remember I like wrote the on the verse, the groove. I had that it was like an 8-bar loop. And it was just in GarageBand sitting there. And I named it My Black is Beautiful years before we even had Sheila. I was like, I said, no, I want this to be a song. I don't know what to do with it because I can't write lyrics to save my life. So then when we showed it to Shire, she was like, oh, this is like, I like this. Yeah, I can do something with this. And then she showed up to the studio. I was like, dude, oh my God.
Well, that one's amazing. And then my favorite is We Are. My second favorite, if I'm picking favorites, because we always force each other to pick favorites on this show. With all disrespect, I wrote in the notes, and I say this with all respect, so I hope it comes off as respectful. To me, this is like, this could be, if you're making a concept album, like this to me, like, oh my goodness, I was like, this is your American Idiot moment. Like to me, American Idiot is like one of my favorite, most perfect albums, and I love the live show. I think it's brilliant. And so for me, as I'm listening to us, the way you do the voiceover, that kind of verges into the distorted voice, making the announcements, but also I feel like the song changes it evolves as the vibe goes on to the end when you get to the frantic shredding guitar and drums at the end. To me, that it comes back to these concept album feeling. Like again, I was like, this is like American Idiot. This could be for like their version of American Idiot, because even within this song, I feel the different parts, the different movements of that song. And so anyways, that's my reaction to the song. I would just love to know anything you want to say about it.
You know what? We were talking about this yesterday. So when we write songs, Ria's really good at like the angry songs, like With All Disrespect.
So With All Disrespect was a follow-up to the song we did on our EP. Like
I love that title. I love that title.
And so like I write
so
music.
Good.
I write music when I'm like in my feelings, like when I'm really like upset. I feel like that's where I just like,
that's where she shines. Like she's like, look at this, what I have. And she'll be like playing.
Because I remember I was working this really shitty job. It was like my first teaching job. And the principal had just said something to me. It was just like, I was so mad. I think Trump said something stupid that day too.
So I went to GarageBand and I just like heard it in my head. Da, 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 da. And then I literally spent my entire planning break just like writing out these little riffs. And then in the beginning, I pledge allegiance to Black culture. I literally took this video from YouTube of these kids saying the Pledge of Allegiance and put it in the beginning just to like contrast it. So I just write songs when I'm very angry, and Courtney writes songs when she's like very sad and emotional in her feelings.
Well, but you know what's so funny is that however angry and sad you might have felt during these, I find this whole album extremely uplifting. Like it is, I find it uplifting and empowering, and it rocks so hard. It rocks so hard. Lily and Becky, I have obviously, being the music nerd of the group, dominated the questions. Do you have some?
No, that's okay. I mean, it's a joy to listen to you be so excited. I just know so much less about music, so I'm just like, I don't even understand how someone could do any of this. So, let alone on Skype. But yeah, no, I think it's amazing, and I think, yeah, I just think
My
it's
sisters
awesome.
did co-write their first song this year
We
for
did.
my 40th,
Stop it.
But not the music, just the lyrics.
for my 40th birthday. They
And
co-wrote.
Rachel, the brilliant, wonderful, sweet, creatively generous Rachel Everton wrote the music.
The music.
And,
Freaking love
and
So you should
helped
send
us
them the
shape-
song. So they
And
can hear
I
it.
mean, I have to tell you, we wrote this song, and when we were finished, the feeling was, oh my God, this is what it's like to win a Grammy. Like,
Yeah.
this is
I literally
amazing.
said to Becky after
We're like,
it took us, we wrote it.
Like,
Yeah, we wrote it back and forth, like sharing
Awesome.
notes, because it was just lyrics. Like, this was not music. And then we like finally had it down. And then she came in and she was like, well, because she was writing the music to it. We told her more or less like kind of what we liked or whatever. And she wrote the music to it. And then when she sent back, she's like, look, this lyric isn't going to really work because of the music. So we're going to I'll switch it out for a different word or whatever. We're like, okay. So we were like, we'll let you tweak that. That's fine. And then the song is finished. And literally the two of us were like, okay, it's not that hard, Taylor Swift. Like, we just did it. And this is amazing.
And it was the best feeling. Like, it almost felt like a selfish birthday gift to Shy, because
we were like,
got so much out of the experience.
Like, we just did it. And then you realize
it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. It took like 2 months.
It took us like about a month of writing back and forth, and we did nothing to do with writing the music. But the feeling was so like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, I could do this. I could be a rock star. I could win.
But then you think that on an album, there's like 11 of those. And it took us literally
together lyrics for one.
It's like as long as it would take to film a movie, edit it, make it, put it out there, it would take us to make maybe an album. And we had no other ideas. We just had the one ideas for this song. So I find it awe-inspiring, to be able to talk and listen to you talk about your process. Oh yeah, humbling for sure.
But like, you should hear the song; it's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Listen,
you said Rachel's on it. Look, we know
Rachel's very meticulous with her music, so I know it's going to be fire.
Because like
and Lily and Becky don't know you. Unfortunately, because of the COVID health crisis, we all missed on the fact that you were going to do a show with Rachel, right?
Oh yeah, her birthday
That
show.
would be it.
Listen, like Rachel was like super stoked because she was like, I don't usually do stuff with a live band. And she had asked Rhea, I said, hey, can you play drums? And Rhea was like, Rachel asked me to play.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
And I was like, and I said, oh, she didn't, Rachel. I was like, oh, I said, wow, that's strange. I said, that's cool. And then like a week later, she was like, hey, want to know? I said, oh God. I said, I don't want to be like, hey, what about me? She was like, no, I wouldn't ship you guys. No, it was great. Working with Rachel is super cool because like she is so, like, super meticulous. So we're used to like having a style. We just play random shit. We're like, yeah, I think that worked. Rachel like knows exactly what she wants. And it's fantastic. She's like, I think we should do this. Like what you were saying, it goes with the lyrics. Because if I say,
for sure.
I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna do this. And I was like, that is fucking genius. Like,
and then when I was like an asshole and I was like, well, actually I really want that word in, like, you can't change. I was like, specifically there's a word that like only like an insider would know. And it's like calls upon like where we grew up. So you can't change that word. She was like, okay. And I had to like go like figure that out with the music. She's like, gotcha. I was like, yeah, sorry. I was being a bit of a diva.
And was there Jasmine Gilson was also going to be on
Yes,
that show? One of the greatest humans I have met in the
I have
last
to
year
say,
of my
Shai,
life.
you surround yourself with phenomenal female musicians. I'm very impressed.
Surround myself. I don't think I do the surrounding. I'm lucky they let me hang out with them.
Yes,
That's how I feel.
Yes, Shai, I believe
That's how I feel with
dynamic.
this whole crew of musicians that I got introduced through, essentially through Kathy, by a chance drawing I did of a Legwarmers concert that I pushed out on Instagram, and through that became friends with Kathy. She has welcomed me into this incredible, music community. But Jasmine Gillison also, who this is the third show in the week, but hey, everyone should go and listen to Jasmine Gillison's music. She's phenomenal. This is the third time I'm bringing her up in a week. Her song, oh my friend, oh my friend, oh man,
Friend.
Oh friend, just fills up my heart. I listen to it all the time. But again, as of this week, you can also hear her collaboration with us, with my band. She did all the female vocals on the record we just released, Sidecar. So Jasmine's just an amazing person. I love following her, and I love she just gives her heart to her music. It's wonderful. Okay, speaking of other musicians, I gotta know, Blink or Green Day?
Blink.
Really?
Yes.
It was very fast.
I
love it.
Whatever to both of them. So yeah, Rhea's kind of like whatever to, because I'm like a Blink super fan.
So was Shy.
Yeah.
So was Shy.
Green Day.
Can we tell them about the concert in 10th grade?
Oh yeah.
Jesus, man.
So we went to, so my favorite.
Did you sell them candy?
No, we did not.
Did you sell candy to get to
The
afford
tickets to get
Yeah,
into the
Yeah, we
definitely
actually
did sell
did.
candy.
We
You get
sold
tickets?
tickets we sold them to get tickets. But I'm a super fan of Fall Out Boy. Like I'm talking about fan. Even with their new shit, which is terrible, I'm a super fan. I'm a diehard since 12 years old. I'm a 15-year fan. So it was the concert was Fall Out Boy, Blink 182. It was supposed to be Taking Back Sunday and Weezer, but somehow
Wow, that's so awesome. That's a great lineup.
somebody didn't show up. Weezer didn't show up. Oh no, Taking Back Sunday didn't show up. So Fall Out Boy was like there. They like surprise, and they had been on
That was a good
hiatus.
show.
They had been like kind of low key for a while, and I was so excited. But we were there to see Blink. I had so much fun. I love Blink 182. Rhea was so bored she fell asleep.
Blink. I have to tell you, the only time I've ever seen Blink with the three, like the real Blink,
yeah.
well, the semi-original, I guess, because Travis comes later, but like with Travis, Mark, and Tom, I had to go to like Atlantic City to see them at like the Borgata Casino on the last night of this tour, because it was the only way I had a chance to see them, because I just had, like, when they broke up and got back together again, I was like, this is like, when you hear Neighborhoods, you're like, this band is going to break up again.
Yeah.
That album is the sound.
I was gonna say you like.
I love that album, but that album is the sound of a band that does not like each other.
Ooh, no, because I was reading stuff about them. It's really funny. So like, it's almost like Tom grew up, even though he's whatever. Tom grew up, but then Mark and Travis were like, no, we still want to do like punk music. And then Tom's like, but I want to do Angels and Airwaves. Like, get out! You've been wanting to do Angels and Airwaves since you made it. And so that was whatever. So then
That's true. He Angels and Airwaved up that album a lot. There's a lot of Angels and Airwaves sound in that Neighborhoods album.
The whole album, he essentially just like probably, hey guys, come at the last minute, look what I made. And they were like,
But I will say the only redeeming thing to me about Blink 182 is Travis Barker. I think he is phenomenal. I think he is like very culturally significant. Like, he just does all types of stuff.
That
like,
is true.
He collaborates with like hip hop artists. Oh my God, he collaborated. There's this one girl. What's her name? Oh God, this like pop singer, whatever. She did a song last year, and he was like randomly on her track and just made it so much better.
Oh,
He just makes everything better.
he's amazing. I remember I went to see Plus 44 in Europe.
we love Plus.
I like
think
Plus 44.
I would
But
rather
wait,
have Plus 44
the
than
main reason why I was going is so I could see Travis Barker in concert, and he had broken his shoulder or something, and we got some other dude. So it was like a nice Mark Hoppus show, but like, could you imagine you go to see a band and Travis Barker's supposed to be the drummer, it's some other guy? So
That Plus 44 album should have been like they should have kept that band and just scrapped Blink-182 because they were significantly better than anything now that Blink's done. But to be fair, I don't like Blink-182's the first albums like Buddha, Cheshire Cat. I don't even like Dude Ranch. But once we get to Enema of the State, the self-titled, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, Neighborhoods, but my favorite, you're probably gonna hate me, Shy, it's California.
No, I like California. Is that the Matt Skiba album?
Yeah.
No, I think California is still really cool. I think
love
the song She's Out of Her Mind or that's great. I watch that video with my kids all the time because I showed them What's My Age Again like 100 times. And I'm like, and now they did the same
And
video
they did it
again,
with girls.
only with women instead of men. And then my youngest daughter is so perceptive. She's like, hey, that girl, she had a magnifying glass in the other one and now she has a cell phone. So I don't think it's bad at all. I like the other song. I don't know if it's from California. It's the one with all the kids in the red shirts at the prep school.
When they do the
Dark Side. Get to the Dark Side or something like that.
New album, yeah.
That song's amazing, and I feel like they've actually found their sound with Skiba a lot more in that case. Because I don't know if we've ever even had another drummer on the show. So, Rhea, who are your Mount Rushmore of drummers? Like I like you can ask me any day, and I will tell you the 5 most important drummers to me. None of which I can play like, but like who I like live and breathe every day. But who do you have?
I don't even think because I don't consider myself like a true drummer. I just do play drums, but like I don't know. I would probably say Travis. There's this one kid on YouTube. His name is was it Luke Holland, and he's absolutely like stinking amazing. He just does like covers and stuff, but just absolutely amazing. Who else? I don't know. I don't like sit there and just like listen to drummers all the time. That's just a me thing.
But for guitarists.
Yes. Who are your guitarists?
So mine are AC/DC's Angus Young. You know I love Angus.
I know
I've seen him live. It is magic. It is huge AC/DC fan right
Angus
here.
is mine. And then John Frusciante of Chili Peppers. Not Josh Klinghoffer. You know, the guy who was
The in between.
Oh God, I'm so sorry they got rid of him. So like John.
Did you call him the in between?
Yes,
he was the in between for Shanti and Frusciante.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, he was there for 10 years, but like whatever, he didn't do anything. I didn't like their albums with him. Anyways, so it was him. So Angus, John. I don't know if you guys listen to like. Should you guys listen to like heavier stuff? Like I really like Dance Gavin Dance. Their guitar player Will Swan.
I don't know that band, but I do listen to heavier stuff.
He's like they're like a post-hardcore. Like I'm trying to compare them. I always compare them to like a little bit less hardcore. What's that band? Bring Me the Horizon. They're kind of like Bring Me the Horizon, but a little better. A lot better actually. Like not as heavy, but a little bit in between. Their guitar player Will Swan. He's wild. He's been with the band since they first started, and they've gone through lineup changes for like the last 15 years. And he's like the constant. Him and the drummer. He's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love Kurt Cobain because like we're both lefties, obviously. But even though he wasn't like the greatest, I had to compare myself to anybody, it would be him. Because like for me, I don't think I'm like hot shit, like the greatest thing. Like I'm not that great at soloing, but like he just had a style and he had a sound.
Yeah, and he could write.
Exactly, and he made it work for him. Like he wasn't the greatest singer.
I don't think anybody's gonna think it's weird that you named Kurt Cobain. Yeah, he's.
Oh wait, now I feel okay. I will spare my sisters further music geek talk, but now I feel like I've got to share my favorite drummers.
I feel like my favorite. I thought you were gonna ask me who my favorite bass player is, and that's
Go ahead, Lily.
Paul Rudd and Jason Segel and I Love You Man. For the bass. Those guys are my favorite bass players.
So my favorite drummers are John Fishman from Phish, Phil Fisher from Fishbone. 2 very different styles, but holy mackerel! I finally got to see Phil Fisher play because he had been out of the band for 20 years. Absolutely incredible. Neil Peart from Rush. And hold on, let me
obviously.
That's freaking 60 drum setup.
Oh my god, hold on a second. Like I just had the biggest brain fart. Oh god. Like sorry. Okay.
No,
I got
every time when
Phil
like
Collins.
no. Okay, I'm starting because I was trying to do the
Who's
order. Okay, the
naming
order
drummers.
order of my drummers, because Phil Fisher really comes in at number 3. So number 1 has to be John Fishman because I love that band so much. I've seen it so many times. If I could play drums like one drummer, though, it wouldn't be John Fishman. It would be Sonny Emery, who I got to know playing for Bruce Hornsby. Like he's just incredible. Sonny Emery.
When you say that, it sounds like you played for Bruce Hornsby.
No.
And that's how you
No,
got to know
sorry.
him.
I hung out at a lot of Bruce Hornsby concerts, and I have gotten to chat with him a couple of times. But so it's Fishman, Sonny Emery, Phil Fisher, Travis Barker, and Neil Peart. That's probably those 5 are the ones that like if I have drum heroes, those are really the guys. Okay. You mentioned learning how to play music from YouTube, not something generationally I would have been able to do in the 90s when I was learning to play the drums. But you are big YouTube experts. I am a big budding YouTube expert. We're going to transition to talk about some pop culture YouTube channels. Take it away, Tucker sister.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to make a list because, like, when I tell you since quarantine, this is like what we do, like every day. Is to watch YouTube for hours.
We watch YouTube videos more than we watch Netflix.
Whoa. That is
no. And then I think our big
bold
thing,
statement.
It's very true. We love analysis videos, like when people take movies and just explain the whole thing, because like we don't want to watch it ourselves, especially horror movies. Like,
Okay.
What
is
what,
this?
what kind of
Explain.
analysis? Like,
Yes.
like what kind of analysis?
Like of an actual film? Oh, you
Yeah,
like
or-
or take a movie, they talk about it. So it's basically this podcast, but with images.
They just
And
re-
smarter people than us,
do they
Lily.
do they
Probably
recap
not. How
a
do
movie
you
or do
know?
they do like
they recap like the entire movie, like shot for shot. Then
That
they
is my dream. Do they get paid for this?
They
Can I have this
insert
job?
something funny. They always insert something funny, like that was so stupid, blah blah blah, and then they like explain what the ending means or what it could
Oh my
possibly.
God, that's like watching a movie with me in person. That's what I do.
Why am I not getting paid for this?
So just to
This
give you
is
some
unbelievable.
suggestions, to give you some suggestions of what like channels we watch that do this. The first one is called Foundflix. Foundflix. He literally takes horror movies and just explains the whole thing. You would absolutely love it. He gives you like little clips. He inserts his.
Shy, that's perfect for you.
No,
You
like,
will
Shy,
love
you need to watch this.
Okay, I'm going to subscribe right now. Because I'm afraid of horror movies, but plain horror movies, I'm interested.
Oh, because like we don't like to sit and watch it because like I'm scared of everything. I still sleep with like the lights on and stuff. Like when somebody explains it and makes it funny, it takes the edge off.
When last April we went to Canada and we played like the Canadian Music Fest, right?
We grew up in Canada.
Where did we go? Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Not
played,
there,
but
still Canada.
That's
okay.
What's the place we call? It was called the Rock and Rolla Cherry. Was that Rock and Rolla?
Cherry Cola.
Yeah, cherry. Whatever. So we played there. We watched. It was a 9. How long was the drive? 10 hours. 9-10 hour drive. We watched Foundflix his videos the whole time there.
Oh my God.
And then we were actually in the Airbnb watch Foundflix.
Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff on this.
There's like over 500 videos. We've seen every single one over the past year and a half.
And if you want something that's really silly, Kill Count.
It's called Dead Meat Kill Count. He only takes horror movies and he tells you how many people died in them. And at the end,
he counts the number of deaths. And then at the end, he tells you which one was the best kill and which one was the worst kill.
So the golden chainsaw and the dullest chainsaw. Like it sounds
hilarious.
Stupid, really funny.
Lily actually has to watch a horror movie a day because her husband's like a big horror movie person.
He is, but
she has to watch all of them.
Since Mom is here and she's a bigger scaredy cat than any of you, he's been letting up on them. But I'm often forced to watch many scary.
But like what
movies.
I consider a scary movie, he considers like a kid's movie, like a comedy. He laughs
for sure.
Those are the best people to see horror movies with when they make it less terrible. Like if they're laughing, it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't actually that scary when it actually was.
I don't care. I go to the movies like this. I'm not ashamed.
Okay, I love that. These are all great. These are great recommendations. For me, I go down rabbit holes. I've been told I'm searching for the end of the internet, and I like explanations of particularly things that are nostalgic. So last year, my big thing was I would go particularly this one website, this one YouTube channel called What Culture Wrestling, where they would just do like 10-minute recaps of like the 10 best wrestlers of all time, the 10 best WrestleMania finishes of all time. And I just watched them. There's these British guys, and they just were relaxing me, and they were nostalgic. And then that ended up like within a few months, I was like at live wrestling tapings with a bunch of guys ringside for the first AEW show in DC, which by the way, the first AEW, I've said this before, the first AEW show in DC, AEW is the competitor to WWE. So it was really easy to get ringside seats. So we were ringside. The whole place was full. It was the most multicultural event I have ever been into in Washington, D.C. Every single community was represented in this audience. It was unbelievable. I was like, I guess people still like wrestling. But then lately, my obsession, partly because of Lily's Lily's son, are Transformers videos about Transformers toys from the 80s.
But eventually you're going to get to one page that's just going to be like, this is the end. You've reached the end of the internet. There's no more.
No, because I started doing the G.I. Joe pages. Like,
oh my God.
Oh, if you like nostalgia, there's this one channel. It's called Pushing Up Roses. And literally all she does is like review Goosebumps episodes.
That's awesome.
She reviews like old video games from like the 80s and 90s.
And Murder, She Wrote.
And then she has a whole segment called Murder, She Wrote. And she like explains the entire episode and how stupid it was. And just like adds her commentary.
Those are her only three things she talks about: Murder, She Wrote, Goosebumps, old video games.
Oh, she's got a whole episode on the movie Clue. My wife loves Clue.
We watched that one last month. It's great.
That's amazing. All right, Lily and Becky, I believe you all watch a lot of YouTube too. Like you before I went into my YouTube obsession.
Not nearly as much.
We all share the same YouTube account. I see what my sisters watch. Every day I wake up in the morning and there's like animals with music in the background, animated things.
My
ASMR.
daughter, that I usually have
like,
no, because let me tell you, the ASMR rabbit hole is deep.
I don't like ASMR.
You say that, but then
me neither.
On Facebook, she's like, she had a Gucci flip flop, but it was like a gummy candy, and she was like.
No, so I want to explain a few things about the ASM artists out there, as we like to call them. Okay, there's different types. There's soft-spoken, there's whisper videos, there's like texture sound videos, there's eating videos, there's role play videos, there's unintentional ASMR videos. I'm just like scratching.
What's role play?
Role play is when you pretend, for example, like that they get into a character and they pretend that, for example, they're working at a library and they're checking out books for you, and they're like clickety clacking on a keyboard and like stamping your library books, or that they're your eye doctor and they're doing like an exam on you or giving you a facial or something. Then there's tutorial ASMR videos like, I'm going to teach you how to fold towels or how to have good dinner etiquette. Oh yeah, no, there is like
the one that you sent me of the lady just unpacking her groceries for an hour.
One woman unpacking her. Oh yeah, that's
how is this relaxing?
Those are we call those haul videos. So those are like my grocery haul or my like beauty product haul or my shopping haul. So those are
haul.
Like yeah. And then there's obviously like unboxing ones, but so I don't do the eating videos or the textury sound ones. I'm more
you hate listening to. You hate the sound of.
I don't like the sound of.
My other sister loves those eating videos.
No, but give me a good
folding
tutorial
towel
on folding towels all night.
Put you right to sleep.
It is like one of my favorite things. Like, show me how to fold towels in little creative bundles. For like an hour. Ironing, there's this one video of this woman ironing her clothes and explaining to you how to iron. Oh, it is heaven.
I worry how stressed your brain is that this is what relaxes you.
But I think it does say something about you, what you like. When I get
an Allie,
relax, and I'm like, oh, I just need to like unwind for like 10-15 minutes. I'm like, oh, let's see. Oh, looks like there's a new there's a new. I get really excited if there's my god, when there's a new towel video, you maybe get like 2 a year. Like, it's really exciting from your favorite person. So yeah, but ASMR is not new. Like I have been really into it for, I'm not kidding, I want to say 6 or 7 years. That's like what I watch on YouTube.
I didn't even know it was a thing until about maybe a year ago.
So it didn't become popular on YouTube till probably about a year or two ago, but it's been around for, for quite, however long, not however long, I don't know how long, but I would say about 7-8 years ago is probably when the first communities of them started popping up.
I didn't know.
Anyway, so that is my main YouTube jam. And I would say until it became popular, I was probably a little insecure talking about it because it's super weird. And now I wear my ASMR flag very proudly. I can recommend some ASMR artists depending on your likes or dislikes, but being that, it is a very particular sound, it can certainly, I see how it irritates people. But on the topic of sort of review videos or instructional videos and stuff, there's one other channel which is super cool if you like watching film breakdowns, called Every Frame a Painting, and that's a really fun one for film analysis. And this guy explains filmmaking techniques and styles in a really engaging, fun way, and he uses awesome movies to explain stuff. So I recommend, and the videos are short, maybe like 10-15 minutes at most, but you feel like you're taking like a little master class in filmmaking. So it's super fun. Every Frame a Painting. I recommend that channel.
Just added.
Mm-hmm.
And Lil, what about you?
I guess I don't use YouTube. I don't know. I like have to find like random.
I feel like you watch trailers.
I guess, but there's apps for that. So I also have my apps that I like to watch.
There's
the trailers
trailer
on.
apps.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm wary about trailers on YouTube because I don't know if you guys have fallen into this. People make a lot of fake trailers.
Yes. Oh yes.
You don't want to get caught up in that.
How many times have I
The
fallen
original
for the
deepfake.
fake Friends movie trailer? We're making a movie.
Right. So I got to be careful. But I do.
Lily.
That is my ASMR. I love watching trailers to fall asleep, just to relax. I love movie trailers.
Lily, I got a channel for you. If you want something like wild stuff, Courtney, you already know. There was this channel. It got renamed. It used to be called Hooked on the Look. But now,
Oh my freaking god!
No. Stop. Hooked on the Look is wild. So they do it's like all types of stories. Usually like plastic surgery stuff, but people with like boobies all the way out to here, their lips all the way out to here, and they just like
writing this
you know
down.
what? I was like a fairy. Oh yeah, this one guy, he was like, I don't have a gender. I'm like a fairy alien. Like it's just like taking these like characters.
Not even gender. That's like race. Like he's not a human.
He like no.
Like I mean, a species. He's not human.
So yeah, basically they just interview like all these people from all over the world, and just like they're kind of like their little things that they love. And it's usually about plastic surgery. It has to do. They have segments on like transgender people.
I like those segments.
Those segments are the best. Like you should check it out. They changed the name. It's not called
Barcroft.
It's not called Barcroft. It's called Truly now.
It's not
Truly.
Barcroft.
It's called Truly.
That's very
Okay.
cool.
What happened to Barcroft? I
You
don't know.
guys know a lot about YouTube.
That's all we do. Like I'm not even
Wow.
kidding.
Courtney at like 3 a.m. Courtney just sends me TikTok videos, like TikTok compilation videos.
Okay, so to be fair, I don't actually do TikTok because I'm too old for that. Anything that because we teach.
I don't do it either, but I see the videos on Insta or where
They're
other people
funny.
put them.
I like anything because we're elementary school teachers, right? And the grades we teach are kindergarten.
I feel like I did not know that before, and now I'm like feel like your kids are very lucky to have you.
I wish you were my kid's
Yeah,
teacher. I mean, they're still too young,
seriously.
but you guys must be such fun teachers. But like tough, but like really fun, but like really tough. Like
Yeah,
they're not
that's pretty much
you.
us. Anything that they like, they're like for instance, like at the beginning, the first day of the like 6th grade music, they're like, Miss Tucker, you're definitely a Visco girl. And I said, what is that? Visco. I had to learn it from them. So I had to go and Google it, what it was. A Visco girl is like the
basic white girl of
it's a
2019.
Exactly. It's just
What?
a white girl. You like Uggs, you like Starbucks, pumpkin spice, and I was like,
The little tiny backpacks with all the
scrunchies.
scrunchies on your arm, the checkered bands. It's cute.
Yeah, but I was like, that was like.
But is it an insult or a compliment?
They said it was a compliment because they're like, you're like.
Okay.
they try to describe me like I'm a hipster, but they don't know the word hipster, so they have to use it in their terms. And they're like, "Do you have TikTok?" And I said, "No." They said, "We're on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok." And I said, "No."
That is amazing.
They said, "You should, but you're young." I said, "I'm 27 and you're 11. I'm not getting a TikTok. Thank you."
That's really
Amazing.
But the thing about TikTok is you can scroll and you'll never get the same video. It's just constant videos. That's why I like TikTok.
Well, I feel like, yes, I clearly, I think I only use YouTube for like what old people use it for, which is like educational stuff. Like, I don't understand when they say, what did I ask you, Becky, the other day? They're like in a recipe about like that cloth. Like, I was like, Becky, what's a cheesecloth and what's it for? And I was like, damn it, YouTube, what do I need a cheesecloth for? And I'm like watching all these like old people just like squish out liquidy stuff through a cloth and to make food. And so, yeah, I often don't understand recipes. I'm not, Becky's a great cook. I'm not that good at cooking. And so I'll read a recipe, not understand what it's asking me to do. And then I YouTube that. So that I would say that I use it for educational purposes. Yes, on how to make
YouTube University.
Okay,
pretty much.
This is amazing. I want to talk to the Tucker sisters.
We're clearly going to have to do like part 2 and 3 of this episode.
Yeah, like this.
We haven't even started the episode.
I have never seen Shy this out of control. Like, you're out of control.
We haven't
I
even
told
done
you
the
I'm
episode
geeking
yet.
out.
And
we have done the episode. We're just
we have, but we've done like I think like a third of the things we wanted to talk about. So we're gonna have to you guys back on again because there's so much to talk about with you.
Okay, so, but that doesn't mean we're ending right away.
No, Shy, don't get anxious. No one's ending the call early.
Shy, keep it together. I've never seen Shy like this.
It's
ridiculous.
What did you say? I'm the big,
I was like,
I'm the big brother, like producer of the show. So I'm always like, everything on time. Let's go. This, that. Oh yeah. Wait. By the way, which sister is older, or like, do you?
Courtney's older by 1 minute.
Okay. Does that like a thing? Is there like a lording over that happens, or are you just?
No, I've always been bossier over her.
Oh, okay. Well, Becky's definitely bossier than all three of us.
I just like being in charge.
It's you.
I was, like 35 is my perfect age because I love being in charge of stuff. Like I was meant to be an adult.
Wait, I don't know if people know this. We have another sister. Yeah, we do. We have an older sister.
Oh, okay.
How much older?
She's
just a year? That's like a third twin at that point. Jeez.
Yeah, she was adopted before we were born. So our parents adopted her and we're like,
wow.
Let me try for them. And then surprise, you got two.
Wow.
Holy shit. That is like so serendipitous.
Our mom was not ready. She was like, our aunt was like, Denise, I prayed you would have twins. Why would you do that?
Like, thanks.
And like, you guys are like, you guys, it literally, it's split in half. Like you literally, it's 1 in a million, isn't it? No, 1 in 1,000. Sorry. For identical.
Lily went through a lot of pregnancy stuff this year, so she's very focused on like
on statistics. But I'm pretty sure it's 1 in 1,000 that it splits and creates an identical twin. It's not very common. I'm gonna look this up, but I know it's obviously not common. Fraternal twins.
Just so everyone know, Lily is not a medical professional.
No, I'm not.
Becky is not a professional realtor because, like, a few weeks ago, she was like, recommending properties.
I'm just saying that fraternal twins is more common than identical twins. Because fraternal twins, it's 2 embryos, like 2 eggs, 2 sperm, 2 embryos. They're just sharing an apartment.
What is this episode about?
From the same egg and sperm combination, which is amazing. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, my sister has said sperm 4 times.
Sperm on the podcast.
I'm just saying, you don't just have identical twins and like not bring it up at all. It's amazing.
Sperm? I think a lot of people talk about identical twins without
I will say
sperm.
the greatest sperm moment in the history of movies is the opening of Look Who's Talking. Like that is the moment where I came.
Mom. Oh my God.
That's where we all people our age learned how babies were made.
I assume the Beach Boys is playing every time every baby is conceived.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie forever. We used to watch all the time with our mom.
So let's talk about twins, since you are in fact twins, and now you are my favorite twins in real life. But Lily, you had some questions about twins?
No, I'm okay. So it's 1 in 250 pregnancies. Not that much. Okay, I'm just saying.
That's pretty
Okay,
common.
well, Lily
For
wanted to know.
identical.
Lily, then I'll just ask for Lily. Lily wanted to know who are some of your like my in the real life favorite twins are of course Rhea and Courtney. But like, do you guys have any specific twins that like Rhea and Courtney? What makes good twins? Like, are there twins out there where you like? There's this movie called
seriously.
Euro Trip. Do you remember Euro Trip with Scotty doesn't know the song Scotty doesn't know? I feel like-
Oh my God, I have to download that song now.
So Trachtenberg and that other guy are twins in the movie, and there's a recurring joke that like you two are the worst twins. Like at one point they accidentally make out, and they're like you two are the worst twins. Like what makes a good set of twins, and what are bad twins?
Oh, so for everyone listening, like this is just our personal opinion. So, like for me, I always like hated when twins would like dress alike. And they do like everything together. Remember the Doyle twins? So,
are they like people you know? Like what?
Yeah, so
they're just getting called out. That's
like when we were in
So that last name sounds like what you're referring to.
like when we were in elementary school, there was like 2 sets of twins. It was me and Courtney, and then there was Jessica. Lauren. Her name was Lauren.
Oh, my bad. Whatever.
Exactly. Her name was. And then there was these other twins. Their name was Lauren and Jessica Doyle. They always dressed alike. Their mom was evil. She worked in the cafeteria, and they like never said anything. They had like no personality. At least with us, we were loud and silly. like Courtney was very sweet, and I was very not. So like people could tell us apart. Like
I was very not.
like, and then like when twins have personalities and they're like different, that's such a beautiful thing. But you know, like those twins who just do everything together, like
the ones from The Shining.
Yeah. But like when twins just like don't have a personality, I'm just like, or the worst thing when twins aren't friends. Like I don't understand. I get if you're.
Well, that's gotta be tough. Like,
It
or
makes
like when
me sad.
siblings aren't friends, that's hard enough. But
Yeah.
like twins that aren't friends,
that this makes no sense to me.
except
I'm like,
that maybe there's a lot of competition between twins.
True.
Maybe. I
And
don't
I'm
know.
like, is that your best friend? No, we don't speak. I was like,
Ooh.
that's really sad. But okay, never mind.
No, I feel like the only thing better than having a sibling, and I love my siblings very much, is like you just one up it with a twin. Like that seems like a dream.
Oh, you know what's wild? When people would always try to compare me and Courtney, but like I'm not competitive, like whatsoever. And then like it just wouldn't work with this. They were like, well, how come you can't be like Courtney? And I just be like, because I'm not. Like,
Right.
so we always talk about this. So I play rugby, right? And like Rhea, I'm like I get like super competitive. Like I like especially playing rugby, I yell a lot. Like it's a thing. Like it's a thing. You've seen me play. It's a thing.
She's a ball hog.
That doesn't matter. But Rhea isn't competitive, so sports are just not her thing. Like, and when people start like, when you're playing a sport and people get flustered, like, oh, we're losing, whatever. Rhea's the type like if you say that, she'll be like, okay, and now you told me to run, I'm gonna run slower. That kind of thing. That's why Rhea would be better with like a solo sport by yourself. Tennis would be her thing.
Tennis.
Or like table pong, whatever. What is it? Table tennis? That's about where you speak. Badminton.
Lily, I think weren't you on like a badminton team?
Yes, in high school, I love badminton.
Lily,
I also
Lily
had,
and
like,
Becky went to a much fancier high school than I went
Three
to.
sets of twins in my grade at school. I feel like 3 is a lot.
I mean, wow,
You had
okay.
triplets?
Yeah, and they
Middle school, yeah, there were these 3 brothers.
No, I'm
remember?
talking about though Kristen. Oh my god! And then, but in high, is it raining? Anyway, but in high school, they were the set of triplets. They were like in the paper, all that. They were just in the paper again because he was a triplet, but he's the oldest. It's like 2 of them look exactly the same, and one of them doesn't. The one who doesn't look like them now teaches for our high school's basketball team that they all played on.
Wow.
That was
wild.
That was actually pretty cool. But like one of them, it's really wild because 2 of them looked like dead set. I couldn't even tell them apart. Other one, no, he nothing like them. I was like, that's really sad.
And do you have favorite actor twins?
T and Tamara.
Oh, yeah.
all
Sister,
right.
sister, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel like for the
luckily,
90s, those are
Mary
They
Kate and
played
Ashley
twins.
too. Like I'm not even gonna lie, Mary Kate and Ashley, we had all those movies. Like our favorite
Oh,
movie,
nice.
Grandmother's House We Go.
Aw.
Like we
I was always there's one in, I think where they're in New York. It's like not a good movie, but I enjoy. Yeah, it was the first time I ever saw them really have different personalities. Like they're a little bit older in that one, and so like that's the only one of their movies I've seen. I enjoyed it. So let's talk about some pop culture twins. Let's start with some. So how do you feel about right when one person plays two people? Like I have a list here. We've got Eddie Murphy playing the two brothers in Bowfinger. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that is a hilarious movie, Bowfinger. A really funny send up of the movie industry. We've got, of course, The Parent Trap starring Haley Mills and Haley Mills. I don't know, maybe your parents maybe watch that, or the Lohan version.
Lohan all day.
Van Damme playing the French and the more preppy American version of himself in Double Impact. The double twins separated birth story of Big Business.
I don't think
starring Bette
anybody's
Midler.
seen this movie but me.
We have
I just
seen
I love this
in our
movie so
family. We
much.
had that on tape. We taped it off the TV. We watched it all the time. Big Business.
Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin playing twins.
And then a recent great
Two sets
one,
of twins.
Shamir Anderson, who kind of got known for, he's Canadian, I think, got known for Winona Earp, but he plays two very creepy.
Winona Earp, I love that show.
It's a great show. So he was Dolls, the FBI agent. So he plays these two very creepy twins in Goliath season 3, and of course the Winklevoss, which are played by one dude. How do you guys feel, the whole group, Lily, Becky, of when one person plays twins? Does that count as a movie, twins, or is that really just about the acting? Like what's the?
I feel like if you can pull it off and it doesn't look weird, like how like it looks like they're not interacting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you can pull it off and it looks natural, then I say go for it.
Okay.
If the directors want to save money on it because the person's so talented, you go for it.
But it's cuter when they're twins.
Okay. Lily, Beck, do you have a favorite of that group? What do you say? Do you buy it because in my mind, when the actors are really good, and
yeah, I think if the actors are good.
Oh, I think the original Parent Trap is my favorite because it was so mind blowing to like have it have the reveal at whatever point in life that it was really just one actor, and you're like,
we did not know, and when we were watching
that we didn't
didn't
understand that.
I did.
So
I was
people-
older. My parents explained it to
And when
me.
people
Super
watch
cool.
Lindsay Lohan, I'm sure when kids watch Lindsay Lohan, they thought there was two of them.
We did.
Yeah, and so I think if the actor can pull it off, go right ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to find a bigger list of twins in movies that look nothing alike, but really all I could think of was, of course, Arnold and Danny DeVito, and which I remember like when that came out as a kid, that was a big deal. And then of course Luke and Leia. People often forget that they're not just siblings, but they're twins.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen Star Wars in my life,
Yeah,
but I
we're-
never knew.
We're
that.
not into Star Wars.
Oh,
so
okay.
that was
I
probably.
thought they were love interests. Is that not?
I'm,
They're siblings.
I'm
You
great.
might want to look at a synopsis on the internet.
You gotta pull
It's
up.
2020.
There's just a few
YouTube
YouTube clips about that. All right, so you mentioned Tia and Tamara. Are there any other real life twins that mean anything to anyone? I've got.
I feel like those are really famous ones. The other ones are not nearly.
Zach and Cody's the Sprouse brothers. I mean, Cole is still Riverdale back.
Oh my god.
I'm watching Riverdale now. I got
Yeah,
two
you
more
got-
episodes.
Shy, you got her start. Oh my gosh,
I
you got
have
her
2 more
start.
episodes left this season 4. The season was so compelling. But
She's
anyway.
been watching it for how long? 2 days. I thought she started the show like a week ago. She's like, I just started the show yesterday and I'm done.
Wow.
It's like a
Really
20
efficient.
Becky and I are both Riverdale fans. I got kind of like stuck in season 4, but I'll get back to it. It's that maybe I need a show to watch. My wife will not watch it with me.
I love Cheryl. I love Cheryl Blossom.
I watched season
Oh,
1
yeah.
and it
They
was
should do a spinoff with Cheryl and Tony as superheroes. Like that should
Oh,
just be their
Tony.
show.
Oh, they're so cute.
they should do a spin-off, but like put it in like the Sabrina world.
Oh yeah, I wish we had that car. Okay, and then Lily had like the secret twin. Lily raised the secret twin.
Yeah, I thought that was like interesting.
That there are secret twins out there, like
Yeah.
ScarJo.
Yeah, did you know like the list of actors that are twins that nobody ever talks about?
We're the secret twins.
Okay, I'm gonna read them to you, and you tell me if you've like never heard of these, which I
Okay.
think you haven't. Scarlett Johansson, ScarJo. She's a twin.
Oh, I looked that up yesterday. Didn't know that.
Okay.
What did you
Ashton
say?
Kutcher.
Oh, Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
His brother Michael. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Hey,
See,
yeah.
it's a twin thing. Clearly, you guys knew because you guys are twins. So, you knew about this. It's like probably like an
Vin
inside
Diesel's
twin.
a twin. There's two
Vin-
Vin Diesels.
There's
he?
two
Oh, not
Vin
two.
Diesels.
There's Fred
Vin
Diesel. I don't know.
Diesel's
What
name.
There's the other Diesel, looks nothing like Vin Diesel. Then Rami Malek from.
Oh, and his brother. It's what is his name? Sami.
He's-
Sami.
Sammy.
Rami and
I think.
Sami.
I thought it was gonna rhyme with him, so I always say Sami.
And then Kiefer Sutherland has a twin sister who looks exactly like him if you Google it. And that's like super weird because he's a boy and she's a girl, but that's crazy. And then Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black has a twin who played her pre-transition in Orange is the New Black. So she's transgender, and when they go to flashbacks of before her transition, it's her actual twin brother playing her. So I thought that was like very cool. And then Linda Hamilton from Terminator has a twin sister who's also in the movie when the T2 clones her in Terminator 2, Shy. It's her twin sister playing her. It wasn't digital CGI effect.
Oh, wow. So they did the most groundbreaking CGI in the history of movies, but they're like, let's just bring in a twin to do this part. Okay. All right. Well, we've had a chance to talk about twins. We are now at the point in the show where we give our recs and shout outs before we end, although I could definitely go forever. So I thank everyone for their time. Lily, what are you watching? And, or do you have any shout outs?
I was shouting out to the London brothers because those twins were so popular in the 90s. I feel like
Jeremy and
Jason London, and have like dropped off the face of the earth, and they had 2 separate careers. So I'm just saying, they have no careers now, I guess, but shout out to them. And I really enjoyed the 2 seasons of Homecoming. The second one just came out, and I know you guys are fans of Janelle Monáe. She's in it, and she's fantastic in it. She's so good in it. So, and you kind of have to watch season 1 to watch season 2, but they're only like 6 episodes. And Amazon Prime, highly recommend that. That was very cool. It's different from the podcast. I listen to the podcast and it's not the same. So, you get a lot. It's
so funny. However much I love podcasts, when people tell me there's a show based on a podcast, I get like resentful. I'm like, how come there's no show based on my podcast? I'm not watching your podcast movie.
Well, but it's a really cool fiction story. I think you guys might like it. And then we started Billions, which is impossible to understand, but somehow very captivating because the acting is amazing.
Yeah, I never remember whatever they're referencing from the previous season. I'm like, whatever. Axe and roads want to destroy each other.
Just the acting is so good. So that's a great show. So that's it.
Becky, how about you?
This week?
Avatar. I'm still recommending Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's what I'm so emotional about.
Becky just finished it this week.
You finished
and
it.
I've started Korra, because I'm so emotional over finishing Airbender. And now, like every morning and every evening, I watch an episode from Airbender with my 2.5-year-old.
Like it ended, so it's ended great.
It's perfect. Yeah.
We have a huge attachment to that because we watched it when it was on. When we were in elementary school. But here's the thing: we stopped about like season 2 when they met Toph. We hated Toph. We were younger, so that's why we stopped watching.
Oh, Toph is really when you get to Korra, she's just But anyways.
But did you ever go and finish the series?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Avatar used to be on Netflix when we first went to college in 2011. And like I remember rewatching it, and then they took it off. God knows why. And then they just like it's back, and I was like, it was on Netflix like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I feel very lucky to have watched it.
And now you're into Korra. How many episodes in?
Probably like 6 episodes in.
Becky and I were on the phone till midnight last night breaking down Korra, because I feel like you need when you've made that transition to Aang to Korra, you need somebody who's been in it to like talk you through what's happening, because it's such a different experience.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Rhea, Courtney, Aang or Korra? Like, which story do you like more?
Aang. And when I tell you, Korra is so infuriating. She can't fight worth of nothing. Like she's I'm just saying, Korra cannot fight, and then she's always getting knocked down. I was like, God! Aang literally didn't like become like the Avatar until he was 12 years old and saved the world. You're like 16 years old and you've been training since you were like 5. Get out of here, and you still can't fight. Like I love her to death. Love Korra, but she's annoying.
See, I've only seen the first season of Korra when it first came out, and then we stopped watching it because that's when we stopped watching TV in general. So we bought the entire series of Avatar and Korra on DVD.
What is this? I bought it.
Well, yes, Rhea bought it.
Well, it's an awesome show and a huge recommend to everyone out there who hasn't seen it. I'm gonna shout out to the twins we have right here with us. So shout out to the Tucker sisters. Yeah.
So And how about you, Rhea, Courtney? I realize I'm talking to both of you because you're in the same box. Otherwise, I would just be going like one by one in the box of Zoom. But do you have any recommendations? Any shows you've been watching?
Rhea already knows what I'm gonna say.
Oh
so,
my God.
So for the last few months, like probably the last 6 months, I've never been into anime like ever, until last August. One of my students, he's in 7th grade now, he said, Miss Tucker, you need to watch the show called My Hero Academia.
I've heard about that.
It's a fantastic, like, I am obsessed with this show. Like, it's my background on my phone.
She has a freaking mask to go on public.
I have a My Hero Academia mask. I bought all the manga. Like, I never read manga until this. It's at like 25 in them. I'm like on book number 14. So I've been on an anime kick since quarantine started. So My Hero Academia, I'm about to finish Assassination Classroom, Wild. I'm watching Blue Exorcist, Carol and Tuesday. What else did I watch? Oh, Attack on Titan. Like,
that's a freaky one. That's a freaky. I started. Wow. That scared me.
No, the first episode. No, when that thing came over the wall, I was like, "Is this what this is about?" And it was weird, but I finished it. It was so good. They're having a new season coming out in November. I'm so excited. But it's a lot. It's a lot to get through. It's emotionally draining.
That's awesome. All right, Rhea.
Okay. I don't know. I've just been like reading some books lately, or whatever. But
wow, books.
Yeah. So we have never utilized our deck outside of our house. It's whatever. So I've just been like putting up the hammock and going outside and reading, because it's a nice break away from TV. Because do you ever feel
Tell them about your vampire books.
Dude, I will tell them about my vampire books. I'm not ashamed. Do you ever feel like so overstimulated by like just watching so many videos and just watching so much?
I love TV so
sure.
much.
No,
I mean, I guess I get to that
doesn't.
point. I
like to take a break.
Like at one point
so does Becky with a book.
It like really hurt my head. Like I was watching so many YouTube videos, like my head literally started hurting. So I went out and I started rereading some of my vampire novels that I love. Vampire Diaries. What's another one? Vampire Academy. We have House of Night. I am really into vampires, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
She loved like the teen
paranormal teen romance novels. Love them.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, even though I'm 27 years old, I don't care. I will admit it to the world. And then some things I'm watching. I'm about to finish Riverdale season 4. Riverdale is one of those shows you have to like be in the mood for, because it's very draining. And it's just like, I feel like these writers don't want these characters to be happy. Just bad stuff always happens to them, and it's very annoying.
And they want the crazy. They bring the crazy.
Oh, absolutely. But I like the writing on Sabrina so much better. But this season has really like kept my attention, so I like it a lot. And then this is kind of embarrassing. I started watching the 1987 Beauty and the Beast with Linda Hamilton.
And Ron Perlman as the Beast.
God. Yes. I started watching that yesterday, and I'm about to get my 7-day free trial so I can watch all 3 seasons. It's great. I've only watched episode 1.
Lily and Becky, do you remember? I used to watch that at our French Canadian neighbor's house when I was little. Like they would be La Belle et la Bête. Everyone get together. We're going to watch.
I was scared of it.
All right, so I'll do my recommendations quickly because I know we're short on time. Last night, Allie and I watched an incredible documentary. You know, it's a big deal if I watched a documentary because that's basically like me reading a book.
That's for sure. It's reading a book.
But I had a chance to see this film to be in a group discussion with the filmmaker where she was one of the main panelists earlier in the week. It's called Little White Lie. It's by Lacey Schwartz. It's streaming on Amazon Prime, although I did buy the movie, and I know her through the amazing ROI community. Or we don't know each other well, but like I have been introduced to her through that. And I don't want to give too much of it away. I don't think anyone should it's worth not reading too much of the description, but just go and watch it. And it's about a young woman growing up in a Jewish family. It's an autobiographical story about her growing up in a Jewish family in Woodstock and thinking she was white, kind of realizing she wasn't, and how she reconciles her identity both as a Jewish person, as a Black person. And I think it is an extremely personal story. It was extremely powerful film, and I think for us as members of the Jewish community, like it gives us a lot to think about. And so I highly recommend those. I know we have a lot of Jewish listeners. Go get Little White Lie right now, and then the other thing we watched again this morning with the kids was Cats, because we freaking love that movie. It's so insane and amazing.
Are you being facetious or you're being serious?
No. I had Becky and I appeared on another podcast. Another podcast tweeted, be like, who's willing to come on and defend Cats? I went on for those poor guys, the Allbros, wonderful podcast. I stretched their podcast out to 2.5 hours with my scene by scene defense. Becky had to leave. Becky's like, guys, I have to go.
And Shai, if you get into it again now, I will also have to go.
You'll kill me. Okay.
Let's leave the mystery of Shai loves cats for a future conversation.
Lily once and I were on the phone, and Lily and I was just like, Lily, I'm going to name to you all of the characters in Cats, and she's like, okay.
You can do that?
You can. There's many. You can't do it now.
There's
so many.
There's characters I can name that aren't in the different versions. I just love Cats.
He loves cats.
Not ashamed at all. But as we take ourselves out, Rhea Courtney, where can people follow you and follow Sheila?
You can follow us on all of our social media. It's literally the same thing for everything. It's at Sheila the Band. That's all of our socials, and that's our YouTube account too. We don't really upload to YouTube, but we're trying to get better at that though. So just search for at Sheila the Band. And then all of our music is on every streaming platform, like Spotify, Apple Music. Our first EP is called We Gonna Be All Right, and our second one is called Protect Your Art.
That's awesome. Yes, as shown on my shirt. Becky, where can people follow you?
You can follow me at BK Princess on Twitter and on Twitter. All right.
Lily, where can people follow
me
you?
At Chichi ChiChik Gomez on Twitter and Letterboxd.
And by the way, Lily's thing comes from that's the last name of her husband and a nickname for when she was little. She's not randomly. I feel like every once in a while we have to explain people who are
Kay
guests.
is my actual last name because Chichi Gomez was already taken. So, and Gomez is my husband's last name. It's not even mine.
And you can follow me at Pancake and the number 4 table, Pancake 4 table on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd. Same thing for Friday Night. Then Friday Night Movie is at Fry Night Movie on Twitter and Instagram. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat, which is the band I am in with Howie, who was on our episode that we aired last week. We did just release a new EP, Sidecar. It is a 16-minute song cycle about side characters from TV shows in the 80s and 90s. You can get the full track on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere, or you can listen to each of the individual movements, and you'll get what I'm saying when and if you care to search for it. Our family has been making a point of letting folks know that we are supporting the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and the Equal Justice Initiative, among other things that we're doing individually. But as supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement, we're gonna be reminding you every week that you should go out and learn about these organizations and go ahead and support them if you see if you identify with the really amazing and important things they are doing in our country, which desperately needs the work that they are doing. And with that, the theme song will kick in post-production, and we will dance our way into the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
For being
It was
here.
so fun hanging out with you.
Y'all are silly.
Great.
pledge allegiance to black culture on the land in which was stolen, and to the republic which is failing, one nation, under a groove, indivisible, with liberty. Why you telling me that my skin, it makes you sick? But when we win the game, all the illness leaves real quick. Why you telling me that I'm not welcome